It's Thursday, the 17th of May 2018, and welcome to Navigating Your Day. If you're wondering about the fairly creepy atmosphere I've created here, we're having a power failure and it's before 6 in the morning. It's pitch dark, there's no moon even. So I've got two solar lamps, my phone torch, and a chakra candle that's currently providing the lighting, hence the massively creepy shadow behind me. And I also noticed that my nose is casting a beautifully unflattering shadow on one side of my face, but this is about as good as it's going to get today, guys. So safety energy lock number 17 in Jinshin Jitsu came into the universe meaning reproductive energy, soothing for the mind and the nerves. So 17 is about connecting to our creativity. That's in my understanding. That reproductive energy is the ability to reproduce, the ability to reproduce our thoughts, the abilities to reproduce our ideas, the abilities to reproduce ourselves. It can be physical reproduction. It can also be a more sort of metaphysical reproduction. It can also be about bringing something new into the world. So 17 helps us to connect to that reproductive energy, and when it does that, it actually helps to calm the mind and the nerves. It helps to bring the autonomic nervous system, which is that part of our nervous system that regulates all the automatic functions in our body, into harmony, because the autonomic nervous system consists of two parts: your sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight part, and your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest, digest, and restore part. And those two parts of your autonomic nervous system effectively regulate all the automatic functions in your body: your endocrine system, your neurotransmitters, your immune system. It is all regulated via your autonomic nervous system. So when we can connect to this reproductive energy, we actually help to balance those two parts of the autonomic nervous system, and that's how we soothe the mind and the nerves. 17, safety energy lock number 17 is located on the outside of the wrist, so you can just hold the wrist like this, a couple of deep breaths, consciously focusing on that soothing of the mind and nerves. And in fact, if you make your exhalations slightly longer than your inhalations, you also help to calm the nervous system down. And we're going to need it because there's a 5 in the villain position today. So 17 is an 8, and 8 is an earth number. It's about practical solutions. It's about practicality. It's about logic. 8s love boundaries. They love schedules. They love deadlines. They love to know where they stand. They like routine and order. Now, we might have a little bit of conflict here because the 5 of May helps us to adapt to this new energy that we bring into the world when we tap into our creativity. However, as much as 8s love schedules and rules and logic and practicality, so 5s, it's an air number. It doesn't want to be hemmed in. It gets claustrophobic. It doesn't like not having options. It doesn't like not having choices. So you may find yourself with a deadline or something that needs to be completed today, and then the part of yourself which is associated with a 5 might be rebelling against that. So when you try and hem a 5 in, then it generally does exactly the opposite of what you want. So you need to be aware of managing that tension today. So that means that you need to make time to actually meet those deadlines. I would suggest that you focus only on what is absolutely essential today, and try and just actually write everything else down and schedule it for a different time, because that will keep your 8 happy because now you've parked it somewhere, and it will also keep the 5 happy because it's not actually feeling like it's forced. 8 will generally complete a task at great what's the word? I was going to say discomfort, but sacrifice. They'll sacrifice themselves in order to get the job done. So we do need to guard against that today. You know, I always ask myself, if I die next week, how important is this thing that I'm spinning out about right now? Probably not that important. Does it have to be done today? Maybe not. So if not, when can I do it? And then I schedule it for a particular day. So I don't just leave it because otherwise it takes up space in my head. I have lots of 8s in my life map, so you can hear that I'm possibly a bit anal in that direction. Okay, so we've got the solution providing, practical, grounded 8 today. We've got the more airy, spacey, analytical, and thinking 5 today, so you need to manage both of them. 5s have an excess of adrenaline, so moving today would be a good idea. Exercise helps to remove the excess adrenaline of the 5. And then, of course, we've got the 2, which is the water number from 2018. So we've got we've got 3 elements in there today. Not much fire, which is probably quite a good thing because it helps us to keep our feet on the ground. The 2 from 2018 helps us to maintain the balance. It helps us to stay connected to our emotions. So 2 helps us stay connected to our emotions. 5 keeps us in our mental function, and 8 brings us down to earth so that we can actually turn what we are thinking and what we are scheming about and what we're trying to invent into something practical. And at the same time, the 8 helps us to stay in touch with our emotions. The hero today is the 6. Now here's the fire number, right? So at last we have a bit of fire in here. 6 is the hero today, and 6 is about being discriminating. What is really important? 6 can really help you prioritize today. So if you can connect to that energy of the 6, you can prioritize what needs to be done today, and you can schedule whatever is not essential for another time. 6 also helps us to appreciate beauty. It helps us to appreciate the beauty within us, and it helps us appreciate the beauty around us. It also helps us to appreciate our external beauty. It helps us to appreciate our beauty completely and the beauty of the world around us. And it also helps us to maintain balance. 6 is the great peacemaker. So 6 really can help to bring stability and balance. If you're feeling overworked, if your 8 is driving you too hard, or your 5 is wanting to be too rebellious and you're spending too much time in your head, or you're feeling overly emotional, if you can connect to something that you associate with beauty, looking at a vase of flowers, appreciating a beautiful work of art, looking at a scene from nature, being in nature yourself, right? These days we have access to all of this via our computers, so you don't even have to leave your desk. So when you can connect to something that is beautiful, then it will actually help to restore that balance in you today. The villain today is the 5. Now, when we have the 5 in the villain position, our minds run away with us. We tend to feel overwhelmed, we tend to become anxious, and we tend to get stuck in the mind and the analysis. So we've got a 5 in the life map, in any case from May, which is actually can be quite stabilizing because we've got it in such a prominent place. But if the 5 in the villain today allows you to run away with your anxiety, then it can actually make the rest of your life map reactive, and that can create a lot of stress and tension for you today. So do guard against that. Fortunately, we have Jinshin Jitsu, so we can either hold, when we're feeling overwrought, our safety energy lock number 17, or you can hold the ring finger. The ring finger connects us to the breath. That breath is what stabilizes us. And if you want to energize yourself, you make your inhalations slightly longer than your exhalations. If you want to calm and relax yourself, you make the exhalation slightly longer than the inhalation. And if you want to restore balance and harmony to the autonomic nervous system, you make your inhale the same length as you make your exhale, and that helps to keep it in harmony. If you do all that while you're holding your ring finger, then you're also harmonizing safety energy lock number 17. You are harmonizing the lung and large intestine organ function energy. The emotion is sadness and grief and letting go. So you help yourself to let go of the old so that you can adapt to the new. And holding the ring finger helps to restore your connection to your breath. And the breath is literally the breath of life. Hope you have an amazing Thursday, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow.